Precision starts with patience. Across the span of the bridge, the weight of the hardware is matched only by the silence of the men waiting for the signal. Logistics is the heartbeat of any operation. From this height, the convoy looks like a steel ribbon, stretched thin across the water. They brought the extinguishers before the fire even started. It's a grim form of foresight, planning for the blaze you're about to ignite. The ground crews move with rhythmic precision. Before the engines scream, there is the silent dance of the pre-flight check. Adrenaline kicks in. For the pilot, the world shrinks down to the cockpit and the mission parameters. Everything else is just noise.
Cold steel and high-voltage electronics. This is where the intent of a nation is converted into kinetic energy.
The beast is awake. As 93 rolls toward the line, the ground crew offers a final salute to the power they've unleashed. Gravity loses its grip. With a roar that shakes the coast, the mission transitions from the runway to the stratosphere.
In the sky, there is no hide and seek, only the hunter and the horizon. The pilot banks, finding the angle for the approach.
Instruments are locked. The belly of the craft is heavy with the tools for destruction, waiting for the release command.
Shadow boxing with the terrain. To stay low is to stay alive until the target is within visual range.
The line is drawn. The bridge isn't just a road anymore. It's a coordinate set on a targeting computer.
The payload is away. 1,000 points of light, each one a promise of chaos for the steel waiting below.
Impact. The chain reaction is instantaneous. What took hours to park is dismantled in a matter of seconds. On the ground, the world is ending. There is no strategy now, only the desperate instinct to find a patch of concrete that isn't burning.
The second wave ensures the job is done. The bridge is no longer a transit point, it's a barrier of twisted metal and ash.
The hunters become the hunted. Even the most formidable defense systems are vulnerable when the sky itself decides to fall. The smoke tells the story. In the aftermath, the only thing left is the silence, punctuated by the crackle of burning rubber. The mission is logged. The bridge stands, but the power it carried is gone. Another day, another coordinate cleared from the map.
A predator never strikes just once. They circle, searching for the pockets of life that managed to duck the first rain of fire.
Architects build bridges to connect worlds. Generals use them as choke points. Today, the connection is severed for good.
Terrain is no shield against a pilot who knows the valleys. He uses the hills to mask his approach until the kill is guaranteed.
Discipline dissolves when the heat reaches a certain threshold. The formation shatters, leaving only individual targets in the open.
High-octane cargo is a liability in a dogfight. One spark turns a transport mission into a static explosion that can be seen for miles. It's a surgical procedure performed at 500 knots. The pilot stitches a seam of fire right down the spine of the convoy.
Steel has a memory, and today it's being taught a lesson in trauma. The infrastructure is screaming under the weight of the assault.
Failure is contagious. Once the first link snaps, the entire chain is pulled into the abyss, one burning cab at a time.
A bit of ego in the cockpit. When the sky is yours and the target is gone, the pilot claims his territory with a roll of the wings.
The sky remembers where the steel passed. Those white lines are the only signatures left by the ghosts that did the killing.
War doesn't check IDs. It's a messy business that spills over the edges, claiming anything and everything in the vicinity.
Mobility is a myth when the roads are clogged with the dead. The biggest weapons become the biggest targets when they can't move.
Oxygen is the first casualty. The fire is a living thing now, breathing in the air and exhaling a black curtain that hides the sun.
The vultures arrive. They're looking for signs of life, but mostly they're just counting the cost of the afternoon's work.
One man crawls out of the wreck, wondering how the world changed so much in the time it took to pull a trigger. Gravity finishes what the missiles started. The upper world is falling into the lower one, merging into a single pile of scrap. The city watches from a distance. It's a postcard of the end times, a quiet horizon punctuated by a pillar of black grief.
The first act is over. The board has been cleared, and the players are moving back into the shadows to wait for the response.
Fire is the final occupant of the bridge. The mission is self-sustaining now. The Inferno is rewriting the local topography with heat and steel.
The eyes in the sky are scanning the periphery. The main artery is cut, and now they are looking for the heart of the industrial complex.
Specific coordinate, a single calculation. The goal isn't just to destroy, but to erase the very means of distribution. Impact is achieved. The shockwave is a physical entity, a hammer blow that shatters concrete and vaporizes fuel in the same microsecond.
They're fighting a ghost with squirt guns. The heat from the metal is as dangerous as the fire itself, turning rescuers into potential casualties.
Light is the next casualty. By hitting the grid, they aren't just creating darkness, they are cutting the nerves of the entire defensive operation.
They are sowing seeds of future violence. These aren't immediate killers. They are landmines with wings, ensuring no vehicle trap is sprung without a single engine revving. The column is paralyzed by the invisible threat lying on the road.
Architectural trauma is self-inflicted here. By targeting the weakest engineering points, they force gravity to do the heaviest lifting.
The sound of a chain gun at 20 feet is the voice of gods. The wake of the jet alone is enough to flip the lighter trucks.
Some fights break your rifle. Others just break your spirit. For some, the war ended the moment the first bomb hit.
Defense is a game of response times. Here, the jet responds faster than the radar can calculate the intercept.
The ground is breathing fire. The updraft from the blaze is creating a weather system of pure ash, grounding the lighter rotary aircraft. Decapitation strike. By erasing the operations center, they have ensured that the fight below will be uncoordinated and desperate. The city watches, silent. The airspace is not just secure, it is dominated. The enemy flies over the skyline. The rails are broken. Years of logistical planning are scattered like children's toys. A multi-billion-dollar traffic accident.
Courage is high on the ground, but it's a form of madness when you fight a shadow with heavy machine guns. Physics wins every time.
The heavy stuff is reserved for the Foundation. This is not a surface strike. This is an attempt to break the bridge at its roots.
The Earth answers. It's a low growl of foundational failure. The bridge doesn't fall. It is simply reclaimed by the sea.
The roar of the engines is replaced by the hiss of cooling metal. In the silence of the dust, you can hear the cost of the afternoon's calculations.
The hunter ascends. Below, the world is a map of fire. Above, it's just the clean, cold physics of the return flight.
The air itself is unstable. The heat rising from the wreckage creates a pocket of chaos that even the most skilled pilots struggle to navigate.
Command is a heavy burden when the path forward has simply ceased to exist. There are no orders for a bridge that has become a memory. A logistical heart attack. The arteries are clogged with the dead and the scorched, a multi-billion-dollar bypass that failed in an instant. The wingmen find each other in the haze. The ritual of the return begins, shedding the weight of the mission to prepare for the landing.
The darkness is spreading. It's a slow, digital decay as the city's heart struggles to keep the lights on in the wake of the strike.
Night is the final witness. The fires will burn until there is nothing left to consume, a funeral pyre for a military dream.
The map has changed. The mission is a success by every metric of destruction, leaving behind a silence that the rest of the world will eventually have to fill.